Hi, Rich Carrubba for bowlingball.com. Well, we're approaching the bowling season again, aren't we? At the time I'm filming this video, a lot of you are getting ready, practicing through summer, getting ready for your next season. And if you're an intermediate level bowler, by that we mean maybe experienced person, averaging up to maybe 160, something in that area, you can work on your game, give yourself a tune-up. So let's talk about that. How to tune up your bowling game. And there's an article on this in Bowlversity of our website, so all you have to do is go there, click on Bowlversity, click on Intermediate Bowlers, and we suggest you read it. But let me go through some of the bullet points of that article just to give you some friendly tips that might help you when you get on the lanes and practice and as you're working toward getting that season started so you can have a successful year on the lanes. First, your setup. When you get on the approach, you want to make sure that not only are the proper distance from the foul line like you normally walk to the foul line, but make sure that when you set up, your feet are pretty close together, maybe a little space between your shoes. Also, if you're going to set up, if you throw the ball very straight, then you can set up with your both feet, the toes, the identical distance from the foul line. Usually bowlers who hook the ball a little bit will pull back the foot to open up the bowling shoulder and the bowling hip just slightly, maybe an inch behind, something like that, just to influence it open a little bit to allow that swing to follow the right path down the lane as you begin walking and swinging the bowling ball. The other thing is sometimes you can keep your feet maybe an inch apart. I would place most of the weight on the foot that you're not going to use to take your first step. That way it's easy to move smoothly and slowly your first step. You don't want to rush the first couple steps, so it's a good idea also to flex your knees. Get down your knees. Some people say bend your knees. I like the word flex better. It doesn't sound so rigid. But if those knees are bent or flexed slightly, the big muscles of the legs come into play. You pick automatic leverage and power. You'll pick up, you'll develop as you walk to the foul line. Also, you don't have to make a sudden drop to release the bowling ball when you do finally arrive at the foul line. Next, with your footwork, try to walk softly. Walk very lightly on the approach. That'll tend to keep you not from hurrying your steps. You want to make sure you don't hurry the first two steps nor the final two steps. You don't hurry the first two steps so you don't have to try to slow down in the middle of your approach and it doesn't hurt your timing sequence. And also you don't want to hurry the last two steps because that's when you make that critical release of the bowling ball and you want to give your hand enough time to be precise at the moment of release. So it's very important to regulate the pace of your steps so your arm swing can regulate the pace of its tempo, organize them or coordinate them together. You have good timing and you're going to have consistent ball speed. Balance. It's important to keep your upper body balanced and very stable as you walk to the foul line. Reduce as much as possible the upper body or torso motion as you walk to the foul line. Keeping your, they say head and shoulders level. The head weighs as much as the bowling ball, I think. So you want to make sure it doesn't wobble around, move forward, back, side to side. Keep it as steady as possible with your eyes on your target down the lane as you walk to the foul line. That'll help you maintain good upper body position so you can get a good consistent arm swing cycle and a good consistent release when you finally arrive at the foul line and your hand enters the release zone. Okay? Next, swing. When you work on your arm swing, it all starts with good timing. We like to see the ball get into motion slightly before you make the first step if you're a four-step player. If you're a five-step player, start the swing and the first step together. The old-time way of teaching was move the ball and the first step at the same time, but bowlers will tend to hold the swing up and keep the feet moving, and it makes you a little bit later than you need. Late timing simply means that you get to the foul line and the ball's still behind you, and you got to hurry it through or shorten your backswing or force your release. All can cause poor deliveries. If you do have a little bit of late timing, the key here is to keep your feet very slow as you walk to the line. But we want to organize them, so get that ball moving. Make sure your swing is continuous and one smooth motion back. And from the top of the backswing, as you begin the downward and forward swing, make that all one-piece motion right on through to your target, and make sure you don't decelerate your forward swing. You don't want to grab the ball at the top of the swing and hurry or force it through, anticipating a release or putting a lot of lift on the ball, so to say. Let the ball release off your hand smoothly as your hand enters the release zone. And that's the key to the good release. When you try to hook the ball or rotate the ball, if you grab your hand, you might start it too soon. And you rotate the ball early, get off the top or the side of the ball a little bit at the moment of release, you're not going to have consistent deliveries. You won't have the right axis tilt. You won't get the right power or even loft control that you're looking for. So make sure that your thumb exits the ball before the fingers, and the fingers start rotating the ball right about the shoelaces of your sliding shoe as you're moving to the foul line. Now, it all happens very quickly, and you're not watching it, so you might want your coach to watch you and help you make sure that release is on time. Remember, you don't have to force a release. Just let the ball go. Let the dynamics of the ball, by rotating the fingers, let the axis tilt, let the dynamics of the ball construction, the surface of the ball, let that work for you on the lane. You'll be more consistent with a smooth release and be more concerned about hitting your target with the right angle of delivery than you will how much revs you put on the ball. If you're a power player, then you got to work on that. Make sure you're smooth with it. You don't overhit it. You don't hit it too soon or too late. You want to control loft distance, and more importantly, you want to control your ball speed so the ball skids down the lane and gets to the same break point every time when it makes its move to the pocket. Okay? Those are some tips that you want to pay attention to with your swing and your release. And finally, your focus and your finish. Well, keep your eyes on your mark. That's the simplest way to do it. If you're looking at the arrows 15 feet beyond the foul line, it's a good idea to focus on them as you walk to the foul line and make sure you are aware of where you want your ball to go. And the next thing is, when you finish, hold your form at the foul line. Try not to release the ball and then look up and stand up too soon or prematurely, especially while you're in the act of releasing the ball. Bowlers who raise their head and shoulders or their torso, and while they're still sliding and trying to release the ball, you're going to make an errant delivery. Usually you'll pull the ball inside your target path. So keep your head and shoulders steady. Make sure you're rock solid at the foul line. Hold your form like you're posing for a photo, for a magazine, at least till the ball passes the arrows, maybe 1 second. If you're able to do it 3 or 4 times in a row and hold your form and pose until the ball hits the pins, all the better. It's a good practice drill. But you don't have to do it in competition, obviously. Hope some of these tips help you. Get out to the lanes and practice, and let's have a good season of bowling.